Thank you for joining me today for this practice that honors Virgo season. So, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are just starting to move out of summer season. We can feel the faintest changes of harvest season coming on. And this is the energy that we are going to be honoring here today on the mat. So let's begin seated. Go ahead and get into what is a comfortable seated position for you. And if it's comfortable, draw the eyes closed. Otherwise, just soften the gaze and take a moment to ground into this space, letting go of any thoughts that are troubling you, letting go of the day thus far, and appreciating this moment that you have here in this space. Good. Bring awareness here to breath and breathe deeply, fully into the lower abdomen. Feel an expansion here. And feel a softening as you exhale. Continue like this, breathing and grounding into your space here, letting the legs be heavy and relaxed, letting the spine be straight and tall. Finally, push the crown to the sky. Take a moment here and bring the awareness inward to the inner landscape, the inner self. Virgo is about acting in our true natures and pushing aside that which is not within our true natures. And this is how we can find purity in the self, is by acting in our genuine and authentic manner. So on the mat here, I invite you to take a moment to think about what kind of labels have been put on you by society and by yourself, okay, by your parents. And take a moment here and know that those labels are how other people choose to identify you. You do not have to identify with them, okay? So I invite you here to just push aside and clear out any labels that are on you that are not resonating with how you authentically feel. Take a moment here, breathe through the sensations that are coming up. Good. Now bring your awareness, keep your awareness within and imagine a light, a little candle light, a little flame igniting within yourself. Starting at your core, and it radiates heat and light throughout the body. Allow this light to illuminate whatever's coming up for you on your inner landscape. From here, we'll begin some gentle movements. When you're ready, you may bat your eyes closed or open, excuse me. You already have them closed, maybe. You can leave them there, open them, your choice. Let's take a deep inhale here and lift those arms high to the sky. Good. Exhale and just push them down again here, getting a little movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. One more time. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale this time. Hands come to rest on the knees. We're going to move through a little cat-cow postures here. So cat pose is pushing the belly forward, arching the back, and pushing the head gently back. This should feel a little more gentle than it does when you're in a kneeling position. The spine maybe moves a little bit differently here. And then come into a cow pose here, pushing the navel all the way back, letting a big, deep curve come through the spine. And again, inhale, push the chest, the belly forward. Good. Exhale, reverse the movements for cat. Sorry, I have these reversed. We're in a cat pose here. And we're in a cow pose when we push the belly forward. Excuse me. With breath, go ahead and move through this cycle one more time. Good. And then from here, we're going to just bring a movement, like a circular movement here into the torso. And I want you to maybe visualize the navel, the belly button is drawing a big hoop in the air in front of you. Okay? So the idea here is to get spinal flexion and massaging the internal organs. This is going to feel almost like a cat-cow, but now has a little bit of a side-to-side movement here. So you'll be going one direction to start with, and then let's switch it and go the other direction. Find some playful energy here. This practice is a great time to take yourself less seriously and just really experience the movement. Good. We're going to come back to stillness. Lift those arms high to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, left arm comes down, right arm sweeps up and over, getting a nice stretch on the side, right side body. See if you can turn your right palm to face the sky. And see if you can creep that left elbow ever closer to the floor. If it doesn't touch, that's fine. You might be way up here supported, and that is fine as well. Find what works for you. And then breathe deeply into the stretch, feeling the side body expand. Let the right hip be heavy. Good. Slowly and gently, we're going to twist the torso. So now we're kind of reaching forward with this arm instead of it being up above. And just sweep it on back to come upright once more. Good. Inhale, lift the arms high to the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down, left goes up, and then sweeps over to the side. From here, see if you can face your palm to the sky. Maybe send your gaze to the sky. And when you exhale, allow the elbow to fall a little closer to the floor. Deep breath here and feel an expansion. Good. We're going to take that slight twisting motion again with the torso, reaching the arm now to the right side. Sweep it on back to come upright once again. Good. From here, we're going to lift the arms high to the sky and flow through a little twisting. So when we exhale, we're going to twist both arms to one side. One hand is resting on the knees. The other hand comes behind you out by the glutes. And then we're going to inhale, rise again. Exhale, twist to the other side. We're going to find a little rhythm here with this and our breath. So now you know the movement. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. One more time. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to let the torso come back to center. And then we're going to transition here into all fours. Go ahead and send those arms out and get into your tabletop position. Good. In your tabletop position, take a moment here and really find the foundation. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips here, navel draws up to meet the spine, and the neck is supported. Point the elbows behind you like you should be doing in all of your hand-supported movements. The elbows point back. This really turns on the lats here, so you might be feeling it, and that's good. All right, sweep that left arm high to the sky. We're going to take a big twist. The right arm stays down to support us, and we're going to try not to move the hips. So sweep it up, try not to move the hips. Remember, you might be here, you have different range of motion than I do, perhaps, or you might even be further open than I am, and all possibilities are okay. Exhale here with thread the needle, left arm comes through and down to the earth. We're resting on the left shoulder, and we can reach the right arm straight forward. When you're in this threaded needle pose, make sure weight is not pushing into the neck very much, or really at all. It should be really supported on the shoulder. And then push your feet and your knees firmly down for support. You might want to take a little bind here, bringing the right hand to the hips or to the tailbone. And if you took the bind, go ahead and release. Everyone slide the right arm back. Use it to support your lift off as you come back to a twist. Once again, the hips are stable right under the knees. Exhale, we'll return to the earth. Good. Sweep the right arm high to the sky. Hips are still and strong. Core is twisting. Good. Exhale, thread the needle. Once again, we are on the shoulder for support, and the right arm can slide forward. Push down on the feet and the knees. And if you so choose, take a bind here. Good. Breathe. And we're going to release the bind. If you took it, slide the hand back and use it to push you all the way up. Good. Take a moment here, return to your tabletop. Maybe take a second here to do a little spinal flexion, some cat-cow, or maybe just a little bit of side to side. Good. From here, curl the toes under, lift the hips. We're coming into a down dog. In your down dog, bend the knees, okay? Lift the heels. Push the elbows behind you and push your hands firmly into the mat. Melt the heart to the earth and lift the hips. Head is heavy and send your gaze between the feet. Good. I love a little pedaling motion here of the feet. It really gets those ankle joints loosened. So go ahead and experiment with a little bit of this if that feels good to you. Good. From here, we're going to lift the right leg high. Once again, try not to let the hips move. We want them to be pointed to the earth. The toes point down, and the hands are bearing a lot of weight here. Point the elbows behind you, and then step it forward. Coming into a kneeling version of your warrior one. Getting a nice quad stretch and a hip stretch here. Find your foundation, making sure the right knee and the right ankle here are in line with each other. And then lift all the way up. In this posture, make sure you're squeezing the thighs together. And you're pulling the navel in and up. So if you're dumping the weight forward, dial it up. Think a strong support system here running through the midline. Good. Breathe here. Beautiful. Sweep the arms down and then up. And again, down, hands to the earth. Right hand comes down. Left arm is going to sweep high, so we're in this lunging twist. Closed twist here. Good. In your twist, go ahead and walk this right foot off the mat a little bit so it comes, there's a little more space here now. And then we're going to put the right hand onto the knee and just push here, opening up the hip a little bit. We're supported on the left arm. The right hip is really opening. And if you have the space in the hips here, if you have the mobility, you can come into a little lizard posture. So here is your starting version for everybody. And then some folks maybe can get all the way down onto the elbows. This is a really big hip opener. Breathe into this posture and make sure you can breathe. If your breath is restricted, then you really should back up a little bit. Good. We're going to come on to the hands. And then we're going to lift the hip. Good. We're going to step it back, find a plank, and we're going to go through this first one really slow. I want everyone to drop the knees, point the elbows behind you, and then lower all the way to the earth with the arms. Flatten yourself completely to the earth here. Keep those hands firmly on the earth, elbows behind you, and then inhale to lift here using the core. You should be able to lift the arms and stay where you are. Try not to squeeze the glutes too much. Try to really make this a core-centric action. Good. Exhale, release. Hands down firmly to push up into plank. Return to down dog. Good. Again, check your posture. Take a few deep breaths, looking between the toes. Left leg comes high. Once again, hips point down, toes point down. Check the posture, equal weight in both hands, and then sweep it forward, coming into a kneeling warrior one. Once again, check your posture alignment here on this leg. You want those to be about stacked. Inhale up. Squeeze those thighs together, folks. Pull the navel in and up. You got this. Breathe here. Good. Let the arms come down. Sweep them forward and up, and then down again. We're going to take that closed twist. Right hand comes firmly down. Left arm reaches high. One long line between both arms here. Good. From here, we can walk out this foot a little bit. See, it's coming off the mat. And we can put that left hand on the knee or on the thigh. Opening up this hip. Good. From here, you might enter your lizard pose and just stay standing, stay upright. You may find that you can go a little further, bringing elbows to the earth. Good. You can come up out of the lowered position. Come back on those hips. Ooh, find a little relief on those quads. Once again, we're going to find a plank posture. You can choose to do knees down or not, amping it up maybe a little bit, but come all the way down. Once again, find your cobra. Keep those legs squeezed together. Keep them flat to the earth. Find a little lift. Good. Exhale, lower it down. From here, we're going to flip it over. So go ahead and just straighten out, roll over, reposition in the center of your mat. Good. We're going to set up for a little bit of bridging here. So I want you to have those fingers really close to the heels of your feet. About an inch or so space between is good. Feet are going to press firmly down. There's a little bit of space here between the knees. We have alignment with our hips, knees, and ankles. So take a look at that. Make sure you're in alignment. Push those hands firmly down. And then when you're in this pose, never turn your neck side to side, okay? Keep your gaze fixed to the sky and protect these delicate parts of the neck. Good. Lift your hips here, really squeezing those glutes to support you in this bridge. The idea is one flat line now across the front of the body. So we want those hips pushing high. The chest comes up to meet the chin, and the chin pushes to the sky as well. From here, exhale, and then from the top of the spine, going down towards the tailbone, we're going to lower. So the shoulder blades, and then mid-back, and then low back, and then finally tailbone. Okay, we're going to do a couple more bridges like that. So again, inhale, push high to the sky. Stay here for a breath or two. Squeeze those glutes. Good. Exhale. Bring it down. We're going to do one more just like that. Inhale, push it high. Stay here. Here, see if you can lift your right leg. Okay? If you can, go ahead and see if you can lift your left leg. Yes, you might be really feeling it doing that. See if you can stay in your bridge. Again, lift the right leg. Good, you got this. A left leg. And if you're really struggling here, go ahead and just come down and then come back into a bridge pose. No need to push if you can't lift the legs. If you can, let's do one more round. Right leg high. Good, left leg high. Good, on your final round, we're going to lower down. Good. Bring the knees to the chest here, and we'll do a little stirring motion like you're stirring a big cauldron. Good. Make that circle go the other direction.
And then from here, if you're able, I invite you to bring a little playful, joyful movement of a rocking sensation. We're going to come back up to our tabletop posture. If the rocking on the spine really does not work for you, find a gentler version of this by just rolling onto your side, coming out into a fetal position. Everybody else, go ahead and roll yourself back into a tabletop position. Good. From here, we're going to curl the toes under and come right back to down dog. And we're going to take a slow walk to the top. I love to do a crisscross on the ankles here, bending the knees as much as you need to, getting a different kind of stretching along those legs. Feel free to find your own way to the top. Halfway lift when you get there, and then fold it down. Good. Inhale, push the feet and come all the way up. Move to rise. Find your mountain pose here. Hands to heart center. Take a moment here. Breathe. Notice how you feel. So we're going to run through a little flow here. But before we do, I want us to build a little of that playful movement and get a little rapid twisting here, working the internal organs and really taking a moment of detox actually by wringing out those organs. So find a nice stable stance here. Feet should be under your hips or they can be together if that feels good for you. Bring a little softness into the knees. We never want to lock those. And then we're going to start with our hands out here at cactus arms. Good. From here, I want you to drive motion from your core. And we're going to do a little twisting. Just a little bit of side to side. Okay. Start slow. And try to keep your eyes open. Keep those knees soft. And you might be able to speed it up a little bit. Go at your own pace. Find what works for you. Good. Once you've got a comfortable pace going, then let's go ahead and straighten out those arms. Bring them together at a steeple grip right up over your head. And continue driving this twist from the core. Try to keep those eyes open. Knees soft, core engaged. Good. We're going to release this motion and just bring the hands down here. We'll come into a strong standing resting pose. Close the eyes. Notice how you feel. Good. From here, we'll move into a little flow, and we're going to take a mudra with the hands. So mudras are just hand postures. The mudra that we're taking today is actually this one. It is an inverted triangle, bringing the forefingers together and the thumbs together. We create this inverted triangle. We're going to place the yoni mudra here at the sacral chakra. This is sort of right below the navel, right above your groin, and the place where the internal reproductive organs reside, as well as some of the lower intestines. The shape that we make with our hands is known as a primordial shape or primordial image, and is thought of as the first sort of primordial being, of course, that first thing. It is of creation. It is of birth. From here, We're going to move through a little flow. So what I'm going to have you do is keep the hands where they are, and then take a deep breath, lifting that mudra to chest height. Okay, hold your mudra here. And then we're going to take a big breath, and we're going to pop open, star shape. From here, bend the knees, take another big breath, pop it together, and take your mudra up overhead. Good. From here, we're going to come into a little chair shape, bending the knees, and we're going to create the mudra behind. Still about at the sacrum, but this time behind. Good. And we're going to inhale, lift once more. Take that mudra up overhead. And then circle the arms, big, wide movement. Bring them back down to the starting point. We're going to flow like that 2 more times. So we have a total of 3 rounds. Inhale, hands come to chest height. Take a breath. Take another deep breath and jump, star shape. Good. Once again, exhale, deep breath. Bring the mudra overhead. Exhale, chair pose. Make the mudra behind. Inhale, rise up once again overhead. Exhale, bring it down to starting point. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, jump. Of course, if the jump doesn't work for you, make it a walk. Okay, exhale here. Take another inhale, come back. And then exhale, chair pose, make the mudra behind. Inhale above. Exhale below. Good. Now that we've cultivated a little of this energy, we're going to move through some more of our postures. Stepping back to the top of the mat. We're going to take this left leg, and we're going to do a little swinging movement here, trying to find a little balance on the right leg. Okay, so try to get a little swing here, keeping that hip nice and loose. Again, think playful movement here. Don't take yourself so seriously. And then we'll step back and come into a warrior 2. So in your warrior 2, heel and the arch of the foot here are in one line. You're really opening these hips, making sure the knee is stacked nicely over the ankle. Sweep the arms out. Good. Take a big breath and reverse your warrior. This is a side bend here. Feel this on the right side. Good. Exhale, extended side angle, right arm to right thigh. Lift the left one up to the sky. Good. From here, we're going to bring the arms down to the earth, okay? And we're going to walk it out into a wide-legged forward fold. The toes are pointing forward, okay? And the knees are slightly bent. Hands come flat to the earth, and you can make a flat tabletop if you like this. You might also want to make this more of an inversion, seeing if we can bring the head closer to the earth. Bend the knees a little, make this a wide-legged stance. Good, now we're going to inhale, coming back to how we started. We're going to pivot ourselves to the other side of the mat. And we're going to step to what was on the back of the mat, coming all the way upright. Okay, from here, I want you to lift that right leg just like before. This time balancing on the left. And we're going to do a little swing. Good. Have a little fun with this. Make this a supported action. Make sure the navel and the spine are really supported here. And then we're going to step back into a warrior 2. Okay. Take a moment to find that posture. Good. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, find your extended side angle. Good, sweep it down. Let those arms come out front. Once again, we're in our wide-legged forward fold. And then you can find a variation here that works for you. Good. We're going to come up out of this a little bit. If you took a deep fold, we're going to walk the hands over to the right side, and we're going to step back to form a plank. Go ahead now, roll for your vinyasa if you'd like, how we did before. Make it your own this time. Returning to down dog. In your down dog, take a moment to breathe. Enjoy the inversion. Then find your way to the top of the mat. Good. Halfway lift and release. Bend the knees, root to rise all the way up. Hands to the heart. Good. We're going to flow through that one more time, adding a little extra at the end this time. So once again, lift the left leg, find balance on the right, and then we'll do a little swing. Getting the hip nice and loose and making sure that the core here is really supporting this action. Okay, good. Step it back to a warrior two. Once again. Breathe here. Find your posture. Take a moment of alignment before moving forward. Good. Reverse your warrior. Find your extended side angle. And then exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to switch the feet a little bit here. So watch my rear foot. I'm going a little bit more narrow. So I hopped it in, and I have both feet pointing now to what's the front of my mat, so forward. This is just a little triangle pose. We want to try to get the leg straight here with just a very gentle bending of the knee so we're not hyperextending or locking. From here, we're going to go into a half moon. So our right hand is going to come forward of the foot and out just a little bit. If you are unfamiliar with this pose or you need a little extra help, get a block to put under this right hand. If you don't have a yoga block, get a book or a can of beans or something to lift you up off the ground if you really need a little extra support. Okay, if you don't need extra support, let's do this. Go ahead and bring the hand out here while lifting the left leg and opening the hip. So watch that. The toes were pointed down. This is closed hip. Open the hip by pointing the toes out to the side. Stay here. And then eventually we're going to reach this left arm high to the sky. And we're going to try to get all the weight out of this right hand. So this hand is just down for a little extra support. We're really balancing on the right leg and using the core. Strong here. Find your half moon. Breathe. And then when we're ready to get out of this, we're just going to fold everything down. Good. Take a moment here. We're going to roll through a little vinyasa to break up the movement. So go ahead, skip it if you're wanting to do so. Return to down dog, and from here we'll find our way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and release. Mountain pose, come all the way up. Hands to heart center. Good, lift your left leg Find balance. Sorry, lift your right leg. Find balance on the left. And then find a little movement here. Step it back to a warrior two. Remember, check your alignment before moving on. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Good. Sweep that right arm down. This time, same as before. We're pivoting on this rear foot so the toes point forward, and we're shortening our stance. So we have a little pyramid pose. Good. Let the crown come to the earth. Bring gentle bending to the knees. All right, we're going to do half moon on the other side. If you need a little support, go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, set up your hand over here. Open up the hip. And we're going to open the arm high to the sky. Once again, use your core. Really try to get the weight out of the left hand. Breathe. And when you're ready, release by folding everything down. Hands to the earth. Step back to plank. Take a vinyasa. Or skip it. Down dog. After a breath or two when you're down dog, bring the knees to the earth. And we're going to come up into a kneeling posture here. Take a moment, hands to the heart. Bring chin gently down. I invite you to come into a shape that feels somewhat reverent. And then I want you to take that feeling of reverence and focus it on the self. Be awed by your own capabilities and what you have accomplished. In your unique lifetime. Good. Rise the hands up to the sky. Using the core here, if you've got a really strong core, go ahead and just fold it down. I'm dealing with a little bit of low back discomfort today, so we're going to do an easier version of this by just bringing the hands down, the glutes down to the heels, and then the hands come down to the earth. We're going to rise briefly into a tabletop pose. I love to do a little crisscross of the ankles here and then just sit back into a seated posture. Find a different way there if that does not work for you. And then straighten out this right leg. Left leg bends and comes in. And we lift the arms high to the sky. Good. Fold it here. Doing a nice stretch on the back of the leg. Keep that tailbone slightly tucked under, and then see if we can bring chin to chest, forehead to knee. Good. We're going to walk the hands upright once again. Lift this leg and cross it over for a little seated twist. Right arm comes around to grab on, and the left arm sweeps behind. Good. In your twist, just know that the depth of the twist is not what is important. Try to inhale and find length of the spine. Good. Exhale and let the twist deepen. This is a great shape to acknowledge your past, where you've come from and what you've done, all the dark and the light that are involved within it. And exhale, release. Good. We're going to send the legs long, switch sides, scoop the arms high to the sky, fold it down. Good. Walk your hands upright, and we'll set up for twisting on this side. Grabbing the leg, sweeping around. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale and twist a little deeper. Good. Release. Send the legs long. Come into the middle of your mat here. We're going to do a very brief little core test here, a little boat pose. So grab the back of the thighs and find your boat. Straight spine. Try to parallel the shins to the floor. If you're feeling really strong, try to let go. If you're feeling extra strong, try to straighten those legs. Good. Release and see if you can just roll all the way back. Send the right leg high to the sky. And we're going to set up for a little reclined pigeon or figure four. So the ankle comes on top of the thigh, and then we grab onto that thigh, threading one arm through the legs. Try to get your shins parallel to the earth and your toes pointed to the sky. Hold that left thigh in as much as you need to feel a stretch. Then we're going to release the thigh, letting the left leg come to the earth. From here, I like to have hands flat on the floor, and then we're going to just let the legs drop to the left. I'm going to try not to move my left foot at all. I want it to kind of stay there. This right foot is just going to come down. So we're coming into a little twist here. You might feel a deep stretch along the outer edge of this leg. Maybe a little bit here in the front of this hip. Maybe you feel that in the low back. If you don't feel it at all, try to pull this foot in a little closer to the body, okay? And then try to push this knee up to the sky. And hopefully that gives you a little more. Good. With your hands firmly down, use the core, lift those legs. Switch. Left leg comes high to the sky and then rests on top of the thigh. Thread the hands through, And find your pigeon, figure 4. Good. Go ahead and release the thigh, right foot to the earth. And once again, without moving that right foot, we're just going to let the legs drop down to the side. Make any subtle adjustments you need to on this left leg. See if you can really feel a stretch over here. Good. Use the core and the hands. Roll back to center. And take a moment, send both legs high to the sky. Coming into a little waterfall posture. And then we're going to bring everything in. We're going to end our movement practice here with a little ball shape, pulling everything in and giving yourself a big squeeze. While you're squeezing, give a moment, once again, of appreciation for the self. Give yourself a little love today. Take a deep breath here, and then when you're ready, exhale and expand. Send the arms and legs out wide and take up space. Soften the muscles of the face and unclench the jaw, part the lips. Gently tuck the chin towards the chest. Snuggle the shoulder blades under the body. Relax the shoulders. Relax the arms. Relax the hands. And relax the pectorals, shoulder blades. Relax the core and the spine. And the hips. Notice if you're clenching anywhere along the back or around the top, middle, bottom of the spine. Release any tension you feel there. Relax the glutes, the hips, and the thighs, the calves, and the feet. Let them be heavy and relaxed. free to pause the video, stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Otherwise, we'll begin bringing gentle movements into the body, rubbing the tongue gently across the teeth. Take a moment of appreciation for your physical self, teeth that you have, your hands and your feet. Move those if you have them. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Bring a little more subtle movement, a little more active movement to the limbs. I like a little rolling sensation here. Good. Now, if you want to take a more gentle exit of your savasana, I invite you to roll into a fetal pose, and come up a little more slowly and gently. Otherwise, get into a little of that playful action if that feels right for you today. And we're going to rock and roll a little on the spine. Take your time, come all the way up to a seated posture, and we will close out our practice here. So find a strong, supported foundation. We'll close practice with 1 chant of Om and 3 of Shanti. Om is the primordial sound of everything, the first sound of creation. Shanti is peace, and that is how I would like to lead you today. So if you'll join me, sweep the arms high up overhead. Take a moment and collect the energy that you've brought here to this space. Maybe bring your awareness back to the intentions that you set at the beginning. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Good. Take a deep breath for chanting. Shanti, Shanti.